So after that long break, I am obviously recovered, and I'm ready to cast again. That was a well-welcomed break, that one. I'm never going to mess up now. I've got everything sorted. So Mouse Sports, Angel Ref on the Death Knight, Arya on the Hunter, and Otzan on the Druid. Who can play other stuff as well. I'm pretty sure I've been heard, but he's actually going to be playing Paladin. Yeah, I do apologize. It's my first mistake when I come back. So I knew something was wrong there. Versus obviously Team EG, which will be playing RLS, and they're going to be joining the stage momentarily. You can actually see that's going to be Mouse Sports there coming out to sit down and get ready. This is actually BlizzCon's second placing team of Ship It, and then heading off to the other side of the stage of the World Championships, getting ready to sit down. That was going to be Azel, Woundman, and Tenderloin. Azel was the first man to walk out for his team, and we'll have to see if he can really take his team to victory, because he's been a big key player so far in the tournament. But one person that's really kind of shone for them has been Woundman, the ringer from Fnatic. He's really just come out and he's took a little bit of time to adjust to Azel's playstyle, but once he's got it down, they had some of the best games versus Button Bashers we saw, and had it not been for a macro problem in round 1, also Tenderloin, we had Trinket and also Nature's Swiftness available in the final round where they actually lost and where the series went to 3-2. You could have actually saw Team EG take down Button Bashers, and so far Button Bashers are 5-0 coming out of their group in first place. So they were undefeated, and the closest team to do so was the Americans of Team EG.
Yeah, I mean, it was the best series by far in this tournament, in my opinion. It was a real pleasure to watch, even with the minor mistakes and that macro issue. It was still so nice to see someone challenge Button Bashers and really make them play a hard game. And they really earned that win, Button Bashers did. They fought really, really hard, and I think that's about the height of their skill when playing against RLS they're going to see. So I'd love to see them in a rematch. I really would, because I think EG is adapting slowly but surely. And I think they've probably got a few tricks up their sleeve. I think they realize now more so what they need to do against that particular RMP to try to shut them down. So I don't know. I'm just looking forward to the possibility of a rematch.
We'll have to see, because they're currently the top-placed American team here. They're either going to go home with a 5th, 6th finish, or they're going to move into the Final Four, and then, well, who knows where they may go. They could go all the way to the Grand Finals, but they have to beat Mouse Sports to do so. And Mouse Sports on the PhD have been a really strong team so far. And there you can see on your screens, that's going to be Tenderloin for Team EG, playing the Shaman for the RLS setup. And he's played really well so far. And I think he was shocked, though, in the final round versus Button Bashers. He did not expect that much damage to come in, and if he did, he would have definitely been ready to use his defensive cooldowns on his healer.
I think that's basically the first time he's died all tournament first. That's the first time he's really gotten trained hard and not had the answers. So it was really unexpected. It caught the entire team off guard, particularly him. So I don't know if that's going to change the way he plays. I think he'll just be more aware. I think he'll be, I suppose, waiting for that to happen against a team like Button Bashers, which has really, really fast, difficult to see swaps. And it wasn't even a swap that got him. It was just a lot of damage at once. So I suppose he's just going to be more aware, maybe play a little bit more defensively, but I doubt it. He's a really good shaman, arguably the best here. So I guess we'll just have to see how it goes out.
And sat next to him is actually going to be the ringer of Woundman from Fnatic. He's actually been paid by EG to be here, so all travel and expenses paid by EG for this player to represent. But Fnatic have loaned him out for this one tournament only. And Woundman so far is playing great. He's actually sat center of the team, so that's like normally where you sit your most important player. So Woundman sat in the center. I don't know how much communication he's doing between the two teammates, but interesting that they've been able to bond so quickly. And they didn't have much practice time with him. It was actually only 2 days. And the player who just came through and scruffed the hair of Tenderloin was, of course, Azel. And this is going to be the team of Mouse Sports. And you can see Angel Ref is the man sat in the center. He's going to be on the Death Knight, and we'll have to see how that works out for him. And joining him will be Arya on the Hunter, and also Otzan on the Paladin. So they're going to be playing that PhD. So let's talk a little bit about the composition before they join the matchup. PhD versus RLS. Do you favor any one team going into this game?
Not particularly. PHDK is a little more difficult for RMP than it is for RLS. RLS just has a lot of pressure and a lot of options. So I think we'll see a very, very even match, much like we saw with RMP versus TSG. It won't depend on map as much to be even, however. I think the compositions really are just, it's whoever, what you make of it really. Is RLS going to put the pressure on, and is Azael going to be playing at the top of his game and have immaculate control and good dots, and really be coordinating those swaps with Blue Man on fully dotted targets that might not have Trinket to get out of Kidney. It'll really come down to that. It'll come down to how they play, and will Ari be able to put out as much damage as he can as a hunter while not overextending himself, while not making himself an extremely obvious target to die through a dismantle. So it's going to be a positioning fight, just like any 3v3 game. But this is going to be, at the highest level, it's just going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a lot of speed.
All right, and we will get these guys in arena soon. So it's going to be a Korea versus America. And if you're interested in Korea versus America, actually a quick Counter-Strike update for you. Complexity from America just drew against We Made Fox from Korea in Counter-Strike 1.6, score 15-15. But here in the relegation games, in the best of 7, there will be no draws. There will be a winner moving on to the final 4. Unfortunately, there will, of course, have to be a losing team as we go in, and it's going to be mouzsports versus Team EG. mouzsports are going to be top left of your screens. It's going to be Gucci, also known as Otazan, playing the Paladin, Aria on the Hunter, Angel Ref on the Death Knight, and top right will be Azel on the Warlock, Woundman on the Rogue, and it is going to be Tenderloin on the Shaman. And we switch over to the team, and you can see that they are going to be playing Alliance. So it's an Alliance team for Team EG. And also from the other side, we will see I think a Horde team here. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. I'd have to check a couple times more. But I do think I see Blood Elves. But anyway, either way, we're going to get kicked off soon. And Blade's Edge, who do you think is going to take it?
It's really going to depend on the opener, as we ain't going to be able to get any sort of sap off. I sincerely doubt it. So it's really going to come down to the opening CC chain. There's the first fear out on Angel Ref coming from Azael. And there's an early dismantle on Angel Ref, early pressure out on him. This is good. This is a nice early blind onto Otzim. He's had to trinket that to get out. I believe he didn't have sack up. He might have had hand out, but I didn't see it. So he's going to be available to Fear, and it looks like that's what Azael is trying to place right now. There's the focus Fear, and there's the bubble to try to keep Angel Ref up through that Kidney. He gets bopped out of Kidney, and this is playing really, really well for the RLS so far, but Tenderloin is dipping dangerously low through that Strangulate. He's out of Strangulate right now, and there come the peels.
Yeah, Tenderloin's played great so far, and he's managed to keep himself up, and Angel Ref looks like he could possibly be going down 300 health, and down he goes, and screams from Azael and the team on stage means that they will be taking most likely the first round if they can keep Tenderloin up, but I'm pretty sure they will be able to. He dipped down to about 4,000 health, but honestly, Team EG are very prepared for mouzsports. Yeah. I can tell you the reason why Team EG are prepared for mouzsports is because they saw mouzsports already play the RLS setup of SK USA, and they learned what mouzsports did. mouzsports went as aggressive as possible onto the Shaman. They even they bopped the first cheap shot to keep the kidneys off and the no combo points. They also almost instantly bubbled on the Paladin when the Rogue switched to him, which was Reels, and they just stayed as hard on that Shaman as they could. So Team EG know what mouzsports are trying to do. They've learned from SK USA. And in some ways, they should almost thank them for having that experience, because a lot of the SK USA got caught off guard by the tactic. Then by the time they were adapting to the tactic that mouzsports were implementing, they are already lost. So, it's kind of a continuation. It looks like America helping America in a way. And now Team EG know what mouzsports tactic is going to be. It's really up to mouzsports to change, because you saw how defensive they were. You saw Woundman throw a really early blind, and he just did it to get those pills because he knew the tactic was going to be tunnel the Shaman. And they just had to stop the damage on the Shaman, and eventually they would themselves get a kill. That's exactly what happened.
And it's also very important that he got that early blind trinket into the focus sphere from Azael, because now the Paladin is not available to hodge out of Strangulate, which can be devastating and probably would have killed Tenderloin had it landed, but he was too far away. He was peeled. He had no trinket to get out of that fear. So they really just put themselves in a position to win. They set it up, and I've got to say, former Ship It, coming to this, they just didn't do particularly well when under pressure on the bottom of Blade's Edge there. They didn't get away. They made no attempt to kind of reset the fight, change positions. Unfortunately, Atsum just sort of got feared off into nowhere, and by the time he was coming back to support, there was so much pressure on Angel Ref that there was nothing he could do. He just ate another fear again. I think he got maybe one global off where Angel Ref goes down, and the same thing for Arya. He just was horribly out of position, and his teammates did not try to compensate.
Well, I think the Blade's Edge was a good map to go defensive on, but if we look on the screen here, you can actually see that so far Mouse Sports look at it a little bit kind of shook up about this didn't work. So I wonder if they're going to be able to change it. I wonder if they're going to be able to play adaptive, because their tactic that was a surefire thing a little bit earlier against SKUS is now being, defended. They're coming out with the initial strikes. They're coming out with the BM Hunter, the uncontrollable Hunter, and Team EG are pretty much ready for this. And Tenderloin, has played really, really well so far this tournament, and he's continued to do so that game. But he's got two great teammates so far to help him, and I wonder if Team EG are just going to make it happen for him. I'm very interested to see if Mouse Sports can bring something else to the table.
They're really going to have to show something incredible. Azale's a very dynamic warlock. You saw good swaps between peels and just doing damage there, and Wooman was all over it. Anytime they called just for like a reopening for a cheap to peel, it was there. Wooman was all over everything. Fortunately, Angel Ref was just their main damage target, but he was also the main peel target. So it just worked out. Positioning-wise, even if you didn't know anything about arenas, you can see how much better position that EG had over Mouse Sports. I don't know why I forgot the name of their team.
That's all right, dude. I've been doing it all day. So here we go then. About to head into Dalla and Suitors. 1-0 currently to Team EG. As we get ready to kick off, Mouse Sports need to bring this one back if they want to tie it all up. It is a best of 7, so first of 4. And we're going to go live. We're currently with the Spectre view of Tenderloin playing the Shaman. He's going to be the biggest target. And there you can see everything is thrown onto Tenderloin right now. He hasn't had a Strangulate. They're trying to get him low before they put on some CC. They just put a Gnaw on. There comes the Strangulate. And they're trying to control Angel Ref. Now, Angel Ref is dotted. A Divine Sacrifice is already up. But Tenderloin is dipping so low. And he does go down. They were unable to defend Mouse Sports' tactic that time round. And you can already see, you look at this. Otzan is already he's already bubbled. And he's used Hodge about 15 seconds ago, which was roughly around the time that they got the kill. So this Paladin is offering his Hammer of Justice, which is bound to his whole numpad, as the offensive ability to help his team get the kill, because they don't have many stuns. They just have the Intimidation. But obviously you're going to want to use the Hodge because it has a longer duration, and that's exactly what they're doing. So brilliant play from Mouse Sports. They come in, they stay true to their tactic, and they execute it a little bit better. But I do think that Team EG had a harder time defending on that map. It was a very close quarter kind of map, and now we can see Azel there talking to his teammates, and they need to kind of get this sorted. But it still could go either way. The scoreline 1-1.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a miscommunication at the start. Women didn't have an opportunity to go for any sort of sap. I assume they factored that in. It would have seemed odd that they were rushing out and expecting a sap, because it's just not possible. So I think that's something they'll look into in the future, is maybe a better opener than let's run to this box and get trained. Obviously not the way you win matches. And they had the early blind on Autumn, but there was no fear to follow it up. That's because Azael was too busy trying to peel the other damage.
Azel did the most damage that last game. He did 70,000 damage compared to Wuman's 20,000, and on the other side, Arya did 40,000. Angel Ref did 40,000 as well. Sorry, Arya did 50,000 on the Hunter, but actually Odzan did 8,000 on a Holy Paladin, which is a pretty crazy number actually. Obviously, he might have been using his Holy Shocks effectively on top of the Hodge. Maybe he even used Divine Favor on that to get the kill, but maybe if Azel played a little bit more defensive, maybe if he had the opportunity to play defensive, if Tenderloin was in the open, he could have landed some fears, because at the moment all he did land was a lot of damage. But that's they didn't need that, Team EG. They needed the pills, they needed the free time, they needed to get Tenderloin's health back up and then take advantage of the situation. So good play still from Mouse Sports.
Yeah, well, I mean, they took full advantage of bad positioning and a bad opener on Team EG, and we can see how quickly Mouse Sports will punish you if you're not ready to actually play this match. And it didn't look like EG was ready. It was a very sloppy just entrance into sewers, and they immediately got trained. They had no setup. Line of sight issues for Azale did mean that his fears couldn't be as accurate as he would have liked. He still tried for some, but in the end, he just ended up pumping damage onto a disarmed Arya, which when that wore off, I mean, the game was over. As soon as Dismantle was off of him, he just pumped damage into Tenderloin along with Angel Ref, and that was it. And yeah, I mean, like you said, Austin did a lot of damage for Holy Paladin. There was no pressure coming on his team, so what did it matter,
Yeah, and I really think that map can be so advantageous to the team of Mouse Sports, because obviously you got Angel Ref that can actually death grip down Tenderloin if he's wants to risk it, if he needs to, because obviously you can have it grounded. But there's always that possibility, because sometimes behind those boxes it's quite hard for a hunter to keep up the damage. But obviously with the during Bestial Wrath it's an okay moment, and that's pretty much where the damage and the kill came from. But had the fight gone on for longer, I think that maybe the RLS team or Team EG could have made something happen. But certainly they just couldn't defend the initial, the start of the map. So we'll have to see if they can do, or just kind of change it up and come back.
Yeah, I mean, that's much like RMP. They've got to wait for their DRs to come back up. If Zale does get a full Fear Chain on Frack, obviously he's going to have to wait until he can do it again. He's probably got him in full Fear Chain because Blind was used. So it's just a lot of factors. They've got mid to late game control, but they just have to survive that initial onslaught of damage from the HPDK team. And it's difficult to do, especially on sewers, and you see the same thing on Ring of Valor. If they do pull Ring of Valor, you will see almost the exact same match. But the opener from EG and how they set themselves up to begin that match will decide basically everything.
Yeah, it certainly will. And we are going to be moving into the third matchup then. It will be on a Nagrand Arena. And you can even see, I mean, we talk about a BM Hunter kind of being immune, but also Angel Ref, he's pulling down that Icebound Fortitude to make him immune to stuns. He's using his Lichborn roughly, at the right time so he can't get feared off. He's making it as hard as possible for Team EG to control him. So very hard for Team EG to get initial control on these on the team of Mouse Sports, especially when they use a lot of cooldowns very, very early. So we are going to be in on Nagrand. And what do you make of this? Nagrand, could it help him? The pillars are decent sized, so the kiting should be slightly easier if they do get away.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be easy to play positioning for RLS, and they'll have good opportunities to fear, especially if they get feared, sorry, not fracked, but Osman feared out into the middle of nowhere. They go a long way towards securing a kill on Angel Ref, who could be locked down easily by Woundman, if they have the coordination. It'll come down to coordination, really just like any other match. But this opener is going to be big. I'm looking to see if they even go for a sap, or if they're just going to receive the opener and kind of counter with that dismantle, pump damage, blind fear combo on Osman, and see if it'll just work out. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And it looks like Woundman starting to go wide and then go straight up mid. And he'll have an opener.
Look at this.
There.
Icebound Fortitude already used by Angel Ref as well, like straight off the bat. As they actually go now onto Azale. They change up their tactic. There's an Angel onto Azale. A lot of damage. And Angel Ref is actually going to try and pull him into the center. And he's not able to do so and get onto his target. Nice lockdown there from Woundman onto Angel Ref. There comes a bop onto the stun. But look at this. Azale's already dead. And Mouse Sports, they can just go so offensive on two targets, and this time they changed up the tactic, and they're going to go in the lead as they take down Team EG's Warlock, which of course was Azale, and that was a fast change of pace. But once again, instant Icebound Fortitude, instant, Bestial Wrath, and then I don't think Azale was ready for that. I'm not sure if he started with, if he actually started with Earth Shield or not, but it just was too much damage, and Woundman only just started getting control when the Hunter basically soloed Azale.
Yep.
While there were only a few death coils throwing in, which can do quite a bit of damage, admittedly, from the Death Knight, but really, another 5 seconds, give Azale a little bit more time, he would have been okay. But right now, it's back to the drawing board for Team EG. What do you think they want to change?
Well, even with Tenderloin spamming Lesser Healing, if you got Grip Gnawed there, which was why they had a big interrupt in Azale's healing and why he eventually died, honestly, if they hadn't had Grip and or Gnaw up, then he would have been able to keep going. they need to change positioning. They need to stop putting themselves in a position to just be trained. And that time they train the main control, which is the Zale Spheres. And it's a lot like training the mage in PMR. Why it's a good idea is because if he's focused, you can put him into a block, he's not CCing anything, you know, he's not pawing anything out for fear that he'll get locked out or something, and he can't really damage again. You know, before he's got hypothermia up, he doesn't want to get locked out of Frost because he doesn't want to get insta-gibbed, so he's trying to poly, and it's just all locked out. I mean, it's just a lot of pressure for a caster, and it's so easy for a BM hunter to pump damage into a caster. You've got a DK to worry about who can AMS and get to you quickly and mind freeze you or grip to interrupt you. And then you've got a paladin who's hodging either you or your teammates to peel your heal. It's just a lot going on and a lot to react to. And they just don't have the tools in RLS with Zale locked down like that. You know, Tenderloin could have hexed, but then he'd lose a global on heals. Obviously, that wasn't an option because even spamming heals, he couldn't keep up. So I don't know. There's not much else they could do there except try to play a better position, try to get a better opener. Maybe it looked like Woodman got pulled out. I didn't see a cheap. I just saw a deadly poison tick going on to Angel Ref. So I'm assuming he got no sort of opener, which really hurt them. I mean, because basically, you know, you had HPDK just plowing through the middle of the field into a Zale, and that was the match.
Certainly was. And got them the win. So 2-1 the score in favor of the Koreans from Mouse Sports. Team EG from America need to win this one to bring it even. All Mouse Sports will go up to that match point. How are they going to counter this? Well, they're here on Ruins of Lordaeron. Expect the same kind of start from Mouse Sports. Team EG, they don't know what to expect, I don't think. They're not sure if it's going to be Azel or Tenderloin. I suspect it will be Tenderloin. Tenderloin thinks it will be him. He's got Earth Shield up on himself. So, you know, he's you could imagine maybe an early portal just at the beginning from Azel. We'll have to see if that's the case. Azel is actually, no, he's going to put his portal mid of the arena. Now, they are going to go on to Tenderloin, and they're going to go as aggressive as they can. Fierce are coming out. There comes a Howl of Terror, and just trying to get a UA up onto Aria. Icebound Fortitude already used, and Lichborn. Now, the Icebound Fortitude's off, and they are controlling Angel Ref, so Tenderloin has a chance to get himself healed up right now. Angel Ref is hurting, and he's not able to get onto his target just yet. He's got a bob, but Tenderloin hasn't been able to get his health up very high. Angel Ref could be going down. Here comes the Drained Soul, and he will go down, and the Shaman will retain his health, and all those defensive cooldowns used so early as an offensive play style, they weren't able to do so. Now Aria caught into a kidney, and Tenderloin kited off a lot better there, and Azel kind of just put his first couple of fears out, like the Howl of Terror, the fear, tried to make it as difficult as possible. But really great play from Woundman and also Tenderloin, and Team EG are going to bring it back to a 2-2 as they defend the aggressive Mouse Sports here. And we're down almost to the wire. We've still got a first to 4. We'll pick up the victory. And it's so interesting to see how one attacks and one defends, and it just keeps changing. Very, very slightly per game, and the small things make huge differences here in this very fast-paced arena matchup.
Yeah, Woodman dismantled Angel Ref at the time instead of Aria, so that might have made quite a bit of difference. I don't think it was the single thing that won the match for them, but it did seem to pull a little bit of pressure off of Tenderloin there and allow him to just stay on him, especially once IBF wore off. I mean, it was just pressure city, and he even envenomed instead of Kidney. Actually, I think Kidney might have been on cooldown, but still, the damage was there. It's very obvious that they were just going to sit on Angel Ref because out of IBF, what does he have really? AMS was already down. So.
Yeah, and he used Lichborn on the back of IBF as well, just to make sure he wasn't. I think that was actually a fear potentially could have hit him. But either way, he just wanted to go as offensive as possible.
It looked like he was feared for a second, actually, out of IBF, and I think he popped Lichborn immediately after that.
There we go.
I suppose that early blind into fear combo is really working out for Woundman and Azael on their control, because that's really what they have against Osman. That's the most important thing that they can set up. The only problem is the past two matches, Tenderloin's fallen over dead by that point, so the pace has changed a little bit, taking some pressure off by dismantling Angel Ref instead of Arya. And like I said, I don't think that's one single thing that really made that big of a difference, but that and a combination of others really changed things around.
Yeah, the only time like a dismantle and aria would be really good if they can time it, if they can time that dismantle so the next aim shot won't come in on the on the cooldown.
So it drops off.
That's what you need, but that's good timing and very kind of situational. Is Wooman on his target? He's playing a BM. Potentially yes, because he's still got a lot of cooldowns to begin with. But if they could time something like that, that would obviously help him hugely, because as soon as that MS comes off, you only need a couple of seconds, and depending on the heals your Shaman's got, if he's got a fresh Riptide available, maybe he's going to get himself healed up. But it really is probably more about control, because it's not like a holy shock when you have a heal off. It's nowhere near as big. So they're probably just looking for overall control of their opponents, rather than timing something which could be a little bit tricky. And I think that's the way to go, and that's certainly what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And now mouse sports need to bring a game back if they want to continue the trend of the game. It really is a tick for tat here at the world stage.
And the funny thing is Zale hasn't even had time to really dot up a second target and call a switch. They've got time to basically kill one target or be killed. But if they could get into a match where maybe the pace changed to be a little slower, then you'd really see RLS shine. It may not seem that impressive if you're just sitting around watching at home. You might think, wow, HPDK is a much better comp. Well, yes, it is inside the window of 45 seconds. But given some time to set up, RLS is much stronger. And I think Mouse Sports realized there's a very real sense of urgency when it comes to killing these players. And that's not just from kind of a face roll standpoint. That's from a very tactical standpoint. They know that their cooldowns are finite, especially Bisha Wrath. So he's got to get in there. He's got to do a lot of damage. And they're just, that's all they're doing. There's no sap. There's no counter opener really by this RLS of EG. They're just reacting and doing the best they can. And unfortunately, they've managed to pump out quite a bit of damage. And I'm looking for that dismantle on Angel Ref again. I want to see if that really is mitigating a lot of damage for Tenderloin and giving him a chance to get away. He's starting with Earthshield on himself, by the way. So they've obviously caught on that Tunnel Vision Tenderloin seems to be the name of the game. So we'll see how it plays out here again on the Grand.
Yeah, and the gates will open
Did
soon.
he fell? Yeah, it looks like he fell down. I don't know. It looks like the fell down icon.
So here we go then, straight out the gates. They haven't really picked their target strongly yet. Angel Resh took a lot of damage. He just got put, he's actually got spell locked into a cheap shot. He's got drain life on him at the moment. As we switch over to Angel Ref in the center, they're actually trying to go for Wound Man. It seems they had him targeted there for a moment. There's a Hodge onto Tenderloin as they try and continue damage onto Wound Man. Now Wound Man's actually got his back to the Hunter. Well, not anymore as the Death Knight kites over to the Hunter, but they're still keeping the game at a distance. Angel Ref taking a lot of damage. They've really got to worry because they've already used Bubble on Otzan, the healer, and I think he's going to have problems here. He's actually popped Wings to make sure the healing's as strong as possible, but I think Woundman, this kidney shot could end it all, and Angel Ref goes low. In comes the Drain Soul, and Mouse Sports lose their Death Knight, and Woundman will stay alive, and I don't think it's the best tactic if you've got a window of opportunity to get a kill. Picking the Rogue isn't always the best one. And also the Hunter wasn't behind him at all times. I think the kiting angle of Angel Ref wasn't optimum there. So EG are going to take the lead, and they are going to go up to match point then. 3-2 will be the score, as Arya will get shut out.
Otzen had the right positioning there, but he was standing right behind Tenderloin. And that killing lockout is actually a wind shear and a spell lock simultaneously to make sure they got that heal. Otzen just got completely shut down while Angel was in that kidney. There's nothing they could do. He popped Bubble way, way early, got controlled right out of it, which everyone saw coming. Sitting on a Curse of Tongues, it gave them a lifetime to interrupt those heals. So.
Well, he might have still have had Aura Mastery available. I imagine he wouldn't have popped it any time earlier, because it was the wind shears weren't dangerous until right at the end. So
I just didn't see it up. So.
Yeah, I didn't see it up either, because obviously the only thing that will be able to stop that is like a fear or a stun, but Azel was concentrating on damage. The stuns are already out as far as kidney goes. There could have been a sorry, not a Hodge available. They're playing Alliance, I was going to say Warstomp maybe, but they really had nothing to stop it. So I'm not sure if it was used. Maybe I'll have to go check the VODs over on tv.esl.eu. Maybe. But we're still at a 3-2 score, and now it's really up to Mouse Sports to bring this one back. And there's a lot of talk going on stage there. You can see Sean he hadn't been just looking over or between both teams now.
Yeah.
But a lot of talk going on with the team of mouz sports. What do you think they need to change? Do you think they can execute the kill onto Tenderloin again?
Yeah, I definitely think they can.
But just need the map, because we haven't. I don't think we've seen a Ring of Valor, have we?
No, not yet, unless I've just completely forgotten about an earlier match.
No, I don't think we have. So, well, the maps are definitely. I mean, a couple of two Nagrands and I think a Blade's Edge is a really good. Is I think quite nice for RLS. I just think Nagrand, the larger the pillar, sometimes the better.
But here's the funny thing. I mean, even if they do get Ring, if Ottoman is forced to blow cooldowns that early again, Tenderloin just has to stay alive, and I think he'll be able to stay alive that long. The problem they had with some of the earlier matches is that Ottoman was able to save his cooldowns just a little bit longer. Every second counts when you're waiting for that Paladin to get out of bubble and be controlled, so you can actually convert your near-death situation into a kill on Angel Ref. So by blowing it really, really early, you saw a more comfortable Nagrand game for them. And if Ring of Valor plays out the same way, if they can actually force Paladin cooldowns as early as they have been recently, then yeah, it is very possible that even on Ring, we'll see a kill on Angel Ref through some control or maybe just Ottoman falling behind on healing.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens, and certainly a Ring of Valor. I'm not sure which team will welcome it more, but I would definitely go with. Well, not definitely. That's a huge contradiction of what I just said. But I still think that mouz sports would probably enjoy that match. But it becomes really dangerous because Azel becomes more powerful on Ring of Valor with the less line of sight. He can really kind of pick and choose who he wants to control and damage.
Yep, and you've got Windshears coming in at Tenderloin much more comfortably. But the only problem is Woundman is always exposed. And Azael is always exposed. Tenderloin's always exposed. So it's easy swap, easy grip swap. And you'll see, a grip null on Tenderloin again if they're going hard on Azael. I mean, we saw them just destroy Azael in a matter of seconds. And that grip null was a big part of that on Tenderloin. And on Ring, it's even easier to do it than they did on the Grand. So, it could go either way. But it looks like Dalaran could be our last map. Really depends on what mouz sports has up their sleeve. But if this is to be it, we're going to need to see an extremely fast play style out of EG. They can't fall behind again. You can't put a dismantle there on Arya when he's not even doing damage anyways. They're really going to have to shut down Angel Ref like they have been. And it's pretty much just up to mouz sports. Are they going to pick Tenderloin, or are they maybe even go for Woundman? Because we've seen it work.
Well, I think Zal could maybe be a target here as well. But
if they play good line of sights, then Woundman is really, really looking good.
Well, let's find out who they go for as the gates are about to open here on Dalaran Sua's score 3-2 in favor of the Americans from Team EG.